Aloha and good afternoon. What's happening? It's Hal Wilkerson here with Hawaii Property Advisors and today's Hawaii Real Estate Roundup. I hope this finds you doing outstanding. Today is Monday, April 19th, 2021. And today's episode is going to continue sort of in the theme that I started last week, where just going to be sort of focusing on an individual topic each day. And so today is, I think it's sort of apropos because a lot of folks that watch my channel or our channel are in the market to buy a home in Hawaii. So I thought, what a better thing to do than to make a video about buying a house in Hawaii. And so here we go, buying a house in Hawaii, and here's what you need to know. And my wife has dropped something off. Thanks, love. Love you. All right. You always get raw and uncut here at the Hawaii Property Advisors, Hawaii Real Estate Roundup. Okay, well, let's jump right into it. So what do you need to know if you're buying a house in Hawaii? What I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to treat the first part of this video today just like if you were going to be talking with me about buying a home in Hawaii. And so I'm going to go through, give you my best practices, my tips, some of the guidances along the way, sort of a general overview of what the process looks like, because there are some nuances and some differences in Hawaii from the rest of the country for that matter. Most states sort of do have some of their nuances, but Hawaii especially. And so, yeah, we're going to cover those. So what's the first thing you want to do? Well, before you do anything, obviously we all have our dreams. And so I know there's a lot of folks that dream and look for homes and stuff. That's great. But if you're actually going to be buying a home in Hawaii, first things are you want to get your finances in order. Now, unless you're going to be doing a cash offer, which we have plenty of those as well, but most folks are going to be leveraging the, money is so inexpensive right now. I mean, you're down to, just 2% and some change for most mortgages these days. It makes more sense to just keep your cash, let it work for you, even a bad performing mutual fund is going to be better than that. And so, you put your money in the market and then just use other folks' money to buy your house. So that is obviously using a mortgage. So now, how are we going to do that? So I always recommend to my clients, if at all possible, now every situation is different, but if at all possible, work with a local lender. Why do I say work with a local lender? Well, there are a lot of gotchas, a lot of things that can happen in the Hawaii real estate transaction that if you aren't working with someone local and familiar with sort of the way Bureau of Conveyances works, for example, the recording of the transaction, recording of the title works, there can be some gotchas. And so working with a local lender who is experienced in the Hawaii market is a great first step. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't happen, because we do transactions literally every day with folks that aren't doing a local lender. But when you do a local lender, it just helps kind of grease the skids in a lot of ways, because they've already got a network. They know the process in Hawaii. It really, really helps. So if at all possible, work with a local lender. Second of all, you want to have your finances in order. Now, by this, I mean, if you're going to be, obviously you've got to get a pre-approval first. And to get a pre-approval, you want to make sure that you're financially healthy, you've got a good credit score, that you've got, some money saved up in the bank so that you can put down cash for your earnest monies. And so that's a very important piece. And we want to talk about your cash for your down payment and your earnest money. So you need to have that in liquid form. Now a lot of folks pull money out of their retirement for their mortgage pre-approval, but it's good to just make sure that you've got that figured out ahead of time, so you know how much you're going to be able to get. And if at all possible, I just say have it ready to go. Also, during the process, if you are going to be buying a home, do not buy or finance a new car, and don't take on a new credit card or any other sort of revolving credit type of scenario. That only can impact negatively your lending power, your borrowing power, because as soon as it impacts your debt to income ratio, there's other challenges. And so, especially if you're sort of already in a deal and you haven't had your final clear to close yet, and husband goes and buys a $50,000 truck, and zero down and finances the whole thing. Like that can impact it negatively. And so don't buy a new car. Wait until after you get your home to do a new car, or and I always recommend don't use credit cards anyway. It's not a good thing if you're not paying them off every month. So that's it. Okay, so that's the first step: mortgage pre-approval. Second step: finding a place. Now, obviously, this is kind of the fun part, is searching, but you really want to decide. Now, Hawaii obviously has a very different price point, perhaps, than what you're used to in the mainland. Is it going to be a single-family home? Average single-family homes are hovering right around $1 million right now. Is it going to be a condo, a townhome, or a high-rise? Those are about half that, around between $500,000 and $600,000 right now. So are you going to get a single family home, or are you going to get a townhome or something of that nature? Now, this is where I think it's valuable to find the power of a local realtor. Yes, the internet is powerful and you can get lots of good information from the internet. However, you can only get so much. The internet's not going to give you, the details that aren't in the listing. You're not going to get sort of the flavor of the neighborhood from a listing. That's something that comes from someone like myself that's experienced locally, knows the market, knows the region, knows the area, knows the neighborhood, knows the schools. Those are the kind of things that you're going to get from a local realtor. So I highly recommend early on, after you found a mortgage broker, a local lender, one in Hawaii. By the way, I do recommend a few. I've got one in particular that I work with, but I'd love to answer that if you'd like. But after you've got your lending in order and you're pre-approved for a mortgage, then you start working with somebody like me. And I will be able to help you find a place. And now let's talk about the relationship with the realtor. Now, this is a very important component of buying a house, whether it be in Hawaii or anywhere. And I actually have written down sort of my ideal qualities that I like to look for in people that I work with. And I like to say it's almost like a reciprocal, set of criteria. I think loyalty is very important. So you want to find a realtor that is going to be working for you and going to be loyal to your desires, and also help you hold you to those whenever, if you may be straying perhaps on some of your desires and your needs and your wants. They're just going to be a good sounding board, but they're going to be loyal. I think it's important on the other side of the coin for you to be loyal to your realtor as well. You want someone that's educated on the market, that's a market expert, that knows the market, that's been in the market for a while, that has had a significant amount of experience in transactions. I think it's important too for someone that's fun and also respectful. You can have a little fun, but obviously we're doing business, so there's that element of it. But I always say, if you're not having fun, what are you doing, right? And so have a little fun with it for sure. I always like to do that in every interaction and relationship that I have. That's an important component to it. Obviously respectful. You want to be respectful of your realtor, but you should expect the same from your realtor as well. Also easy to work with. Obviously this is a very large transaction that you're going to be going through, and you don't want someone that doesn't respond, that doesn't quickly return your texts, or your calls. You really want someone that's easy to work with and they're responsive. You also want somebody that's prepared, someone that knows, that has taken the time for your specific situation, that's heard your desires, your wants, your needs, and is prepared with properties to show you for those. Also, I think it's good to have a realtor that's tech savvy. I mean, we're in 2021 here, right? We just have come through a pandemic that sort of upset everything, and now everybody's virtual. Everything is online. Everything is online. And so you want to have somebody that's tech savvy, and make sure you're tech savvy yourself. Also, I always like to say for my ideal clients, I like folks that are ready to decide quickly. I think it's valuable for you to work with a realtor that's going to support your decision-making process, but being ready and able to decide quickly is going to lead to success in your real estate journey. If you're not fully settled on what you want, on what your budget is, on where you want, or you're not ready to sort of shape those after perhaps speaking with a realtor, maybe you should spend a little bit more time educating on the market before you start engaging with professionals to help you with your search. But I always say be ready to decide quickly, and especially in this market, because deals just come and go so quickly right now. And then finally, this is very important, is you want to have a buyer's agreement in place. And the difference between working with a realtor with a buyer's agreement versus not having a buyer's agreement is, if you have a buyer's agreement in place, you're going to have the full undivided attention of that realtor. And if you don't, and if you're not going to have that. But basically all it is it's simply a formalized version of, hey, a handshake, we're going to work together, and we just put it out and you put it on paper. That's it. The one that I do for my folks, it doesn't have a lot of teeth to it. In fact, I say, if you're not happy with what you're getting from me, then I deserve to be fired anyway, and I'll probably fire myself. But I've never had that happen. But generally, it's just a great way for me, because I'm going to spend a lot of time and energy and effort to help you find and establish and decide on a place that you want. And so knowing that you're going to be doing a transaction with me just gives me that assurance that I'm going to be able to have a successful outcome from this transaction. So that's the biggest thing. So I think that's important for folks, and a lot of realtors don't do that. But for me, it'll be one of our first conversations that we have. I typically will introduce that, and it's great. So, and I think it's valuable because now you've got someone that's connected to you. All right, let's talk about making the offer now. Okay, so now you've got your mortgage or your pre-qualification letter. You've got your realtor in place. Now you've found a place, and now you're ready to make an offer. Okay, an offer in Hawaii, the Hawaii Board of Realtors standard offer purchase contract is what it's called. The standard purchase contract is 14 pages long. And I think there's it goes up to section S. So A through S, I think. There might be another one after that. But I think T is the acceptance point. So that's the last thing. But there's a lot of pieces in there. But when you make your offer, when you're signing through it as the buyer, you're going to be initialing at the bottom of every page. You're going to be signing in a couple of spots. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've reviewed all the pieces of it. But most importantly, I think there's a handful that I think are important, and that's the timelines. So number one is going to be the J1, what we call the J1 inspection clause. What the J1 inspection clause does is it says, hey, you have X number of days to inspect this property and decide materially and structurally and all of the infrastructure in the house, from electricity to the construction to the plumbing. You have a home inspector come do a deep dive in your property, and that's when you're going to decide if you really want to keep the house or not. And so that's kind of that's really the biggest one. Like once you're past the J1, and the buyers have accepted the J1 and or asked for credits or asked for any sort of concessions, perhaps if they find something in the inspection that they don't like. Once you get past that, that's just sort of one more nail in the deal, one more brick in the foundation, if you will, of building the deal. There's also the SRPDS, which is the seller's real property disclosure. That's going to come relatively early on. There's going to be title insurance. A termite inspection is going to be done. That's going to be important. And so there's all various pieces and components. Every deal is different. None of them are it's like kids, right? Even if you have twins, they both are going to be a little bit different, but every deal is always going to be a little bit different. And so there's no real boilerplate per se for a real estate transaction. Each of them, they're going to have their own nuances. So it's important that you speak with your realtor and that you understand all of the important keys of the timeline once you're in an offer and once the offer has been accepted, even more importantly. So that's the make an offer part. Okay, now once you're in escrow, so your offer's been accepted, you're in escrow. Okay, what are you going to do? Well, you want to be proactive. You want to work with your realtor and make sure that they are being proactive of everything that's going on in and out of that transaction. And typically most realtors are going to have someone that's called a transaction coordinator. And that will be someone that's essentially sort of helping make sure that all those timelines are kept, so that your realtor doesn't, because your realtor's, busy working with lots of folks, and having a transaction coordinator who's dedicated to them. I happen to have two that I work with, and they will kind of help keep everything in line. And they're sort of like almost like the quarterback for your team of getting everything done. But at any rate, once you're in escrow, you want to be proactive. The transaction coordinator is going to help with that, and your realtor should definitely be helping with that one. But I want to just encourage you to always be ready whenever the acceptance comes. So if you make an offer on a home, if you find one that you like, make sure you're ready to drop in your earnest money. And when I say ready, that means like the day of. Like if they accept your offer, at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, like you need to be wiring your earnest money. If you haven't already given a check to your realtor, you need to give that earnest money, wire it into the escrow account like that day. Not like, okay, we'll do it on Monday. Not, okay, we'll do it, on tomorrow, on our next day off. No, you need to have it in the day of the acceptance. And that's just sort of in my opinion, I mean, it's what the contract says, but it's also, it's out of respect, because someone's selling you their home, and especially in this competitive market, you want to make sure that, hey, yeah, we are ready to buy it and we're ready to go. The second thing is proof of funds. You want to make sure that your proof of funds are ready. Now, a lot of times what I do for my clients is I'll deliver a proof of funds letter with the offer. That just makes things easier, so you don't have to deal with that. But you want to make sure that you're ready to go with your finances, ready to go with your proof of funds right up front, because the last thing you want to do is get in a deal and start having questions about, your ability to bring that thing home. Okay. Next thing is inspection timelines. So while you're in, and I kind of already talked about that a little bit, but inspection timelines are going to be popping like popcorn. Your first 2 weeks, really, once you get into a transaction, that's probably the busiest. You'll be ordering a home inspector. You're going to be ordering a termite inspector. You're going to be looking at the real property disclosures, and you're going to be signing all of these receipts and signing, yes, I received this, I received that, I received. There's like a lot of activity. You're going to be DocuSigned out by the time you're done with the first 2 to 3 weeks of your deal, and so just sort of be ready for that. But your realtor should be able to provide you with some good, valuable heads up and say, okay, hey, what's happening? What's going on? This is sort of where we're at. What I do is I have a timeline that I share with my clients and let them know exactly sort of where we're at. And then my assistant or one of our transaction coordinators will continually sort of proactively update that way. So, once you're in escrow, it's not done by any stretch, but it's important to sort of be active, be involved, be engaged. And if you're not getting that from your realtor, you need to just say, hey, man, let us know, give us a heads up of what's happening here. Last thing I wanted to just mention, what's the difference between escrow and a title company in Hawaii? And actually, I looked this up. So there's like 6 or 8 Western states that are what they call pure escrow companies. And what does that mean, pure escrow? Well, it means we actually follow the Spanish laws that were in place when many of these Western states became U.S. states. And that was it was an escrow state. And basically, it means you have a third party that uses that you use to hold your funds and to basically also double as in these states as a title company as well. And so in Hawaii, we have an escrow company and a title company, and they are one and the same. In certain parts, like in Southern California and Northern California, it's different. Southern California is not a pure escrow area, but Northern California, they do. It's just every state sort of has its own sort of nuances. But in Hawaii, you have a title company and an escrow company. They are one and the same. And they'll be 2 different departments. There'll be the escrow department, and then there'll be the title department, but they would be, and they are under the same entity. And so what's the difference between them? So there is no difference between them in Hawaii. Now, but there is a difference between, a title department and an escrow department. A title department is basically going to make sure that the title to the property that you are purchasing is unencumbered and free and clear and is ready to be transferred to you. So that's the title department's role of the title company and the escrow company. And then the escrow department role, their job is to make sure, hey, the contract is being followed. Everybody's doing what they said they were going to do in the contract. Everything's moving along. The financing is in place. All the inspections are done. You know, they're basically the biggest thing for the escrow company, though, is they are the ones that give the clear to close. And the clear to close means that every little piece that we've already put together in that purchase contract has been done and or, you know, accounted for, whether it be something negotiated, if you're or whatever, everything's done. The title is clear, so the title is the title company or the title search or the title insurance technically is what it is. They've given escrow approval that yep, this title is clean, it's good to go. We're clear to close. The mortgage company has done all of their stuff. The deposits have come in for the down payment. The mortgage company has deposited the full amount of the loan. And then the escrow company gives the final green light and they say, okay, we are clear to close. And at that point, now you as the new buyer will close. And yeah, and I'll talk about that in step 7. But before we do that, this is one other piece that I get asked a lot is, you know, who pays for what? And you know, that's a great question. And I'm glad that you're watching this video because I think it's helpful. So first of all, if you're a buyer in the state of Hawaii, typically, and I mean, I've never seen it where a buyer is paying a commission in the state of Hawaii. In Hawaii, the sellers pay for the real estate commission they pay for the commission for the transaction when the house or the property is sold. And so when you buy, you don't have to pay, but when you sell, you do. And so what is the amount? It varies. It really depends on the deal. Some places will do it for really cheap, and some places will do it for, you know, the standard. The standard is 6%. Sometimes it's 7%. And then they do what's called a cooperating brokerage, a cooperating broker agreement. And that basically says, hey, Mr. Buyer, I know you've developed a relationship with people that are looking to buy a home, i.e. you have a buyer's agreement in place with someone that is qualified and looking. As a result of your work doing that, and in my case, that includes all the things that I do to prepare you as the buyer to buy a house with me. In return for that, they will pay a portion of that from their overall commission. And so whether it be 5%, 6%, whatever that dollar amount is, they will have a split. And each individual listing, in fact, shows exactly what the buyer's or the cooperating brokerage agreement is. So normally it varies. It absolutely varies, and there is no set standard, but 2.5% is sort of the going rate of cooperating brokerages in Hawaii. So basically, if a seller sells or pays 6% or 5% for their, to sell the transaction, it's basically X% of the purchase price. Then in the listing, it will list exactly what percentage the buyer's agent will get. Okay. And so that's, like I said, right now it's typically 2.5%. On the sell side, it's 5, 6, 7%. It just really depends. And it also depends on your negotiation with your agent. Now, if you're selling a home, I will tell you this, remember, you get what you pay for. Okay. And so if the industry standard is 5% to 6%, that's typically normally accepted because it's expensive, and these are people's livelihoods that are doing this to help facilitate these transactions. And but anyway, so as a buyer though, you're not going to pay the real estate commission in Hawaii, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I could riff on that for quite a while, but I don't want to get off on a tangent there. Home inspections. Buyers are going to pay for home inspection. Why is the buyer going to pay for a home inspection? Well, you're the one that's buying the property. So as we say in Hawaii, the onus is on you to do your due diligence, and that's part of your due diligence. You wouldn't want a seller to provide an inspection because they could be jaded. They could hide some information. I mean, it just removes any probability or possibility for any malfeasance, if I can say it that way. And so the buyers will pay for the home inspection in Hawaii. Generally, what does that cost? If it's going to be a small condo, $400 or so. If it's going to be a larger house, $600-700 or so. It really depends on the home inspector, and it also depends on the size of the house as well. But that is a buyer cost. So that's one of those first things that you're going to have to pay. So as a buyer, you're going to put your money down, your earnest money, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is that you agree to. And again, the size of the house determines the size of the earnest money. Multi-million-dollar houses, you're going to put, $10,000 down initially. For less than $1 million house, you're probably going to put down like $2,000-3,000 initially, and then you'll put down a little bit more after the J1 inspection is closed. And then, but at any rate, but one of the first things that you're going to have to do is after you do your earnest money, you're going to have to pay that $600 or $700 for your home inspection. And you want to do that home inspection because it reveals so much. And in fact, I just was speaking with a buyer about this on Friday that we're in escrow on a deal with. And she's like, I'm actually looking forward to it because it's really going to give me a list of everything that I need to know that we are going to have to fix in the house. And I was like, that's a great way of looking at it. I love it. But that is something that the buyer is going to pay for. Okay. Termite inspection. Now this is kind of unique. Typically, now it doesn't have to be this way, but typically the standard of practice in Hawaii is that the buyer chooses the vendor. Okay. So they get to select the vendor that they want for the termite inspection, and the seller pays for it. So, and you can write that up there's many different ways that it can be done. I like to do actual cost. So I'll basically just say, hey, they're going to choose, the buyers are going to choose whatever X termite inspector, and the cost is going to be the actual cost. That's what the seller will pay. I think that's fair and equitable. It's win-win. So you, as the buyer, have a say over who is going to inspect your future home, but you don't have to pay for it. So that's another kind of interesting. Survey, typically done by the sellers. Not always, though, but typically that's a seller's side debit. And title insurance, that's going to be shared, 60% on the seller side, 40% on the buyer side. And that's sort of the standard. That one actually is written down in the section that shows who's paying for what in the purchase contract. 60% is going to be the buyer, 40% is going to be 60% is going to be the seller, 40% is going to be the buyer. And then finally, escrow is going to be shared 50-50 right down the middle. And again, that's dependent on the purchase price of the property. So that's kind of step 6, who pays for what. And now we get to closing. Okay, this is the day that we're always working for and everybody's excited to get to because it means you're going to get your keys to your new house. And but basically a few things come from that, or right before that, are going to pop up. Number one, you're going to do your final walkthrough, but before you do your final walkthrough, you'll probably have in the contract, I generally write a cleaning clause. So you want to have the sellers will pay for a professional cleaning if the house has been lived in. If it's a vacant house and it's nice and it's shown, it's ready to show. I mean, that's something that's not always necessary, but that's a good thing to do. And then prior to that is you want to have everything removed from the house. So that'll be one other piece. So you'll have everything removed, you'll have it cleaned, and then you'll do your final walkthrough. And your purchase contract should reflect that. And those are things that you can check just to see if your realtor's putting it together, what's looking like. And then you'll get your clear to close. So your mortgage company says you're clear to close. Like I said, I was talking about this a little bit earlier. And then the escrow, the title company is good with it. The title is clean, ready to go, or it should be clean, or they've got an insurance claim on their hands if it's not. And the mortgage company says, yep, we're good. They've deposited the money into the escrow account. And now escrow says, okay, we can now clear, or we can now close. Now, here's one important distinction that a lot of people miss is that in Hawaii, the funds have to be in, even with a wire, they have to season in the escrow account for 2 days. So that's something, again, if you don't have a local lender, they may miss, and they may be targeting an April 20th close date. And they may say, okay, we're going to wire the money on April 19th. And then they wire the money on the 19th, but they didn't realize that it has to season for 2 days. It has to be in the account for 2 calendar days before it can close. And so that is actually, excuse me, it's business days, which is another distinction, which will get you on those Fridays. And so you always want to plan for that. Typically, closings, we like to do closings on Fridays. And so you deposit you initiate the wire on Tuesday. It should show up in the account no later than Wednesday. You've got Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday closes. That's typically the most popular day to close, but it doesn't always exactly work out that way. Most contracts are 45 days, but then we'll do some sort of an adjustment. And again, one other thing that you can also put in most purchase contracts, and most smart realtors will do this, is you'll do sort of a unilateral right to extend by up to 7 days. And so basically that is in the event there's some sort of unforeseen hiccup with the transaction, with the deal that's popped up, boom, we can say, hey, we're going to exercise that unilateral right to extend. And unilateral means exactly that. All parties have that right. So whether it be the selling side or the buying side, but typically when we do see that, it's because there's some sort of a snag, some sort of a hang up on the financing, and it's just at the 11th hour, and that has to be put in, or, has to be executed. And so nobody likes to see that, but it does happen, and that's why we write it in there. Sort of a natural thing that's sort of grown out of the real estate practice in Hawaii. So, but at any rate, so you do your final walkthrough, you've got your clear to close from your mortgage and your escrow company, and you'll fill out a bunch of documents. Some of those actually have to be wet signature for the Bureau of Conveyances in order to file your title, so that you've actually got the title. Those need to be wet signatures, but otherwise that's it. So my goodness, I walked and talked through a lot. That was 31 minutes of explaining that. My goodness, did I really talk for 31 minutes straight on the process of closing of buying a house in Hawaii? All right, well, if you watched this part, thank you. Let's look at some property. So as you know, if you've watched this far, I typically do this most days every week. Not every day. I'm finding that I'm getting, these days it's been super busy. And so I have to have some time for my kids and my wife in the evenings. And I generally like to do that. So if I can't get to it, I don't get to it every day, but I try and do it at least. Lately, I'm trying to do it, several times a week is what I'm finding. So at any rate, well, let's jump right in, and we're going to take a look. So if you did skip right to this point, what I do on my normal Hawaii Real Estate Roundup is I do a review of single family and condos. I do the high, the median, and the low. And if you watch this over time, what you'll find is it helps you sort of get a gauge and see what the market's doing for buying a house in Hawaii. So let's take a look. First one is going to be over in Kahala. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,300 square foot, built in 1983. It is going to be average fair condition. Listed by Grace Korayasu from Better Hawaii. Very large corner lot in Old Kahala. Dual living with a main house featuring a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, attached separate unit with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a wet bar. Fabulous cedar open log style construction with gorgeous vaulted ceilings in the living area. Large wraparound deck in back with 2 different, producing avocado trees. Nice. All right. Great. A street appeal. Interior of home could use some upgrades. All right. So sounds like it's got a nice yard. It's got some nice fruit-bearing trees. That is a very nice, interesting look. That looks almost more like something you'd see in the mountains of Colorado versus the beaches of Kahala. But it's nice. Look at that custom stonework there. In the master bath with a kind of enclosed glass shower. Upstairs family room in the main house. Man, I can almost, it seems like I'd put my skis on and hit the slopes outside of this one. Maybe it's an enthusiast. Look at those nice beams. I am a skier, by the way. It's one of my favorite hobbies is snow skiing. Even though I live in Hawaii, that's the one thing I love to do is to go snow skiing as much as possible. Try to do it every year. I don't know. I've been like 3 out of the last 5 years or so. Jack and Jill bathrooms on the side. Craft room or an office. It's listed at what, 2.5 or something like that. Backyard under the avocado trees. Yeah, it looks like they could use a little bit of help in the landscaping area there. Unfortunately, that one kind of got away from them. Looks like it really didn't have a landscaper at all. It's a plumeria tree, I believe. Yeah, interesting. Wonder what the story is on this house. Looks like some old school linoleum there. That's the cottage. Wood. Garage and laundry area. Okay. I wonder how big this lot is. Breezeway. Oh, okay. So it's sort of got like this breezeway kind of situation connecting. This must be it. Maybe this is the cottage and this is the breezeway and this is the main house. So it's sort of set off from the main house. So that's really nice. And there it is. I don't know, is it me or does that have a Brady Bunch feel to it? The Brady Bunch. Street view from Moho. Okay, so they are on 12,000 square feet of land. That's a good size. That's about 1/4 of an acre. 3,300 square feet of living space, 550 square feet of garage, and 160 square foot of lanai. So that's a good one. So that's top of the stack today. Let's go to the middle. 1075 Makakilo Kahivelo. This one is it's been hot. Kahivelo right up the hill in Makakilo. These are D.R. Horton homes built in, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, 2010. When was this one built? 14. Yeah, so this was on the newer part of it. They started building them up there. Actually, yeah, right around 2011, 2012. But anyway, very nice, very nice. Nice little kitchen there. Is that a bar? Looks like a built-in bar? Yeah, it looks like that. Built-in bar there. That's cool. What team is that? The Browns? Can't tell. Nicely done paint. Very well done. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I think I have this exact same paint scheme. Literally, except I don't think I have that burnt orange, but I have that in one of my places. That's funny. Literally, that exact same schema. Interesting. All right, cool. Backyard. They got some wall going on there. And it looks like terracing up the hill. A lot of those in Kahivelo do. That I think is going to be facing east. If I'm seeing this right, we'll have to take a look. No solar. Ooh, solar hot water heater, but no PV. It's getting more and more rare to find a house that doesn't have solar on it. Oh, and it's up there. I don't know which one it is now. Is it that one right there? Yeah, it must be. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So you're sort of right next to a cul-de-sac. Yeah, you're up at the top of that one. Yeah. Looking east towards Honolulu. There's Ko'olina. Actually, it's going to be over there. That's Campbell Industrial Park. This is going to be Barbers Point. I am sitting right around, that's Kapolehale. I'm sitting right around there, just in case you were wondering. All right, so that is the middle of the stack. 1.075. You got a 2,100 square foot 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Makakilo. Yeah. Okay. And now let's go down to the bottom. Kalaheo over in the Kalama tract. This is going to be, oh, that's a coming soon. This one, oh, 361 North Kalaheo. This is in Kailua. Let's see where this one is, actually. It's definitely not going to be the bottom when it posts, I'm pretty sure. Okay. North Kalaheo. Oh, yeah, that's right, by Dune Circle. Yes, yes, yes. I know this area. All right, so it's got a tenant. It's 10,000 square foot lot, 4,100 total square foot of livable space, 700 square foot lanai, my goodness, 3,300 square foot of living space, 380 in the yard. That's a huge lanai. That is a huge lanai. One of the few legal B&Bs in Oahu. Okay, this one has got the special, what do you call those things? It's got a special variance that they've allowed to. Sale is subject to current bookings. Very desirable. Interesting. Wonder what they're going to be asking for it. 250 steps from gorgeous Kailua Beach. Solid 5-star ratings for the past 2 years. Due to COVID and guest bookings, showings are limited. Experienced hosts willing to teach a new owner. Ideal multifamily living with numerous income streams. Spacious main houses, 4+3, 4-bedroom, 3-bath with attached cottage, separate entrance, and enclosed yard. Newly installed, very quiet, split AC systems. Ideal location, short bike ride to Lanikai Beach, Kailua Town, Aikahi Shopping Center, Kaneohe Marine Base, Target, shops, restaurants, live, work, play in paradise. Don't go without permission. Let's take a look at this one. A legal Airbnb, one of 800. There's only like 800 or so that are outside of the resort areas. Ooh, look at the lights. You know how you can tell that floor is made for dancing? Look at the lights. That's kind of interesting. Psychedelic, almost. All right. Nighttime cray cray. Daytime beach day. Got your grill, got your outdoor furniture, got your little gazebo action out there. Wonder if they are going to share the numbers. Doesn't look like they have them in supplements. Okay. So yeah, that's this is obviously, I guarantee this will not be bottom of the stack when they do actually post it tomorrow, but they don't have a price yet on it, but they're putting that out there. This is another great reason, in my opinion, to have a realtor, because if they're got their wits about them and they know what you're looking for, a lot of times realtors will put these out on coming soon, and they don't actually get published to the MLS. There's a process in place for it, but you can, if you're savvy and if you're realtor savvy, you can snag one of these if you're good before. But yeah, they have a non-conforming use certificate. That's what it is. They'll help you snag some of these before they go on the market. In fact, just did one that way myself last week. By the way, congratulations, Diana and Kevin. Super happy for you guys. All right, so that is the single families. Let's go jump to the condos. My goodness, I've been cruising for 43 minutes. Let's take a look at our condos. If I can get my shortcut to work. Oh, it's working already. All right. Okay, top is going to be 1837 Kalakaua in the Allure. Wow, asking 1.4 for that bad boy, huh? What unit is it? 2403. Okay. For a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Better than new. Spared no expense. They completely renovated this 2-bed, 2-bath luxury unit. All Miele appliances, new washer and dryer, elegant hardwood flooring, and light fixtures throughout. Modern new closet systems. Amazing complete Waikiki, Ocean, and Diamond Head. Allure is a nice one. That's what it looks like across the Alawai. This is the parking structure of the Landmark. Oh, they don't have much in the way of photos there, but interesting. So you're on the sea stack. You're in the ocean side. Yeah. Okay. Got a nice big lanai. Sadly, don't have a lot of pictures. there. But that is not the ocean side. That is the mountainside looking across the LOI. All right, well, that is the top of the stack, 2403, and the Allure Waikiki. Let's go down to the middle of the median price range here. What do we want to check out? You know what? Let's check out the Viewpoint at Waikele. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $530,000. This is interesting. Rarely available. Ground floor, 3-bedroom. That's priced to move. There's going to be some action on that one. $530,000, $642 on your monthly fees. That's including your common expenses, sewer, and water. Easy to show, 8 hours notice. Rarely available. Okay, 2 full baths, 2 assigned parking stalls, corner unit, freshly painted inside the unit with new laminate flooring throughout, kitchen features, Korean countertops, and sink. It's right basically next to the Waikele outlet mall. Okay. Which is a good location too. Korean countertops, white appliances, white cabinetry. Nice hardwood plank flooring there. Tile in the kitchen. It's not really featuring much of the bedrooms here. It's your laundry. Okay. Bedroom 1, bedroom 2, master bedroom. Probably master bedroom, bath. Lanai on the back side. Lanai storage facility area, storage unit, and some white picket fencing. And it's on the ground floor. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 905 square foot. So it is kind of a smaller 3-bedroom, but it is a 3-bedroom. $530,000. Good deal. Awesome. That's the middle of the stack. And let's go to the bottom. I'm not going to do it coming soon. I'm going to do the actual one at the bottom. Oh, that's probably Wailea Golf Course. Oh, this one's a fun one. This is the Kahala Life. Can't tell you how many calls I get on this building right here. It's so funny. All right, so here's the key with this one. Kahala Beach, lease, expires in 2027. It is not going to increase. So here's what happened with this one, unfortunately. A lot of people see that $95,000 price, and they're like, I can get a house and I can get a condo for $95,000 in Hawaii. OMG. But what they don't realize is they got to pay $1,200 for the pleasure of living there. It does include AC, cable TV, electric, hot water, internet service, and sewer and water. So you get a lot of stuff for that $1,200, but then you got to pay $2,566 on top of that. So you are going to be paying $95,000 for your condo, but then you're going to pay $1,205 plus $2,566. You're going to pay $3,700 a month just to live there, plus whatever your taxes are going to be, $298. So basically $4,000 a month after you've bought this condo. And oh, by the way, what year is this? 2021? You have 6 years only to use it. So this one is a big gotcha. Really, the only reason someone would want to buy this is, and it's really sad. I don't know what's going to happen with this building because it's a nice building and a nice location, but it's on leasehold. And apparently, and I have yet to get the full story, they are not renewing the leasehold. Are they going to tear it down? What are they going to do? And it wasn't renegotiated, but it's an amazing spot in Kahala right next to the golf course. There you can see a little peekaboo ocean view right there by the beach. Look at that big giant lanai. $49.99 Kahala. I'm not in that circle, so I don't know what the story is with that particular condo. I could probably find out, but anyway, $95,000 is the bottom of the stack today, but you're going to be paying $4,000 a month for the privilege of living there. And oh, by the way, after July 15th of 2027, you're going to be homeless if you do buy there. So Yes, very, very interesting. So anyway, that's the Kahala, but that's a leasehold. And I don't think I've done a video on actual pure leaseholds yet. I've done one about condos that you can check out. But anyway, it's 50 minutes. This is my longest video I've done in a long time. I hope this has been valuable. I hope you've learned a few things today, especially about the home buying process, and you've enjoyed looking at some of these properties. But I just want to say thank you always for my subscribers that do, and we are growing. It's awesome to see. I continually getting more and more subscribers, activities, comments. Thank you. And if you haven't, and if you watch this far, I put one of these out periodically every week. I used to do them every day, but then it just got to be too much, so I'm not doing them every day right now. But I do enjoy it, and I think it provides a lot of value. But thank you for watching. Join our Facebook group. Go to fb.com/group/Hawaii Real Estate Roundup. And we'd love to have you there. You can engage, talk with myself, with other folks buying or selling in Hawaii. And also, if you're looking to buy a house, you can go hpahomes.com and you can find your own dream home in paradise with thousands of high-res photos and videos, virtual walkthroughs, interactive maps, saved searches, and more. So anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, with Hawaii Property Advisors, we show you gorgeous homes and we give you great advice. Hey, we'll see you next time. Aloha. Take care. Talk soon. See ya.